Today, we are at the Bucharest Cybersecurity Conference to explore insights from experts across Europe and beyond. Over the course of 3 days, the conference has brought together hundreds of international leaders and cybersecurity experts from the public, private, and academic sectors. One of the most discussed topics of the conference has been harmonization in the cybersecurity landscape. Many speakers have underlined the need for harmonization across member states when it comes to the implementation of the new regulations.
Our panel was about the new regulation and the importance of harmonization, the different parts that come around. And ENISA works on the NIS2, works on CRA, CSA, and a lot of other, let's say, requirements, the net code. And what we are focusing on is creating the as best harmonized approach together with the Commission and, of course, the 27 member states. But we're not alone. We also see that the harmonization across the world is needed because everyone uses IT systems. Cybersecurity has no boundaries, so we need to really work together. And that was the panel, and I thought it was a really interesting panel.
We continue by diving into NIS2, the regulatory framework reshaping network and information system security. This essential topic has been a major focus in today's talks. This directive aims not only to boost security standards, but also to foster cooperation between member states. Nevertheless, implementation varies among countries.
NIS2 had to be transposed last 17th of October. There are several countries that have not transposed it yet. Spain is one of them, but it's just gonna take months to get get a last test and pass it through the inside institutions, and then the companies have to implement it already. They have to do it now. So us as a public institution need to help them and accompany them in this process because the law, the act, is compulsory already.
With NIS2, we are in the last stages of getting approved the law, emergency ordinance that will transpose the directive into national law. It was a big effort. We had thousands of hours of work from many organizations. I think about 40 organizations provided input. Experts sit at the table, they discussed, they negotiated, they adjusted, and they changed. And technically speaking, in a matter of days or weeks, we are going to have it adopted, and then everyone will have to start implementation.
It's really interesting to know how the legislation can be an opportunity, but also a burden for the companies who have to comply with all these new regulations that are coming. Now we have the NIS2, the CRA, but it's coming the CSI, and so on. And then the legislation, the implementation legislation. So it's really important when the policymakers develop this regulation to have in mind who are they regulation for, which is the companies and the citizens. So we need to simplify all the regulation that is going eventually to apply to them. Yeah, there are a lot of differences of maturity. I have to say that Spain is the second in cybersecurity terms in the European Union. And the European institution are regulation like a common level for everyone. But then a member state such as Spain can have like an inside regulation specifically for cybersecurity. So we need to put both regulations together to have like a common ground. And it's really, really important to harmonize because companies, they operate worldwide, not just locally within the European Union, but also internationally. So they can't be complying with different requirements, different certifications. It should be like one and be able to operate within Europe, but also with frameworks of interoperability and dialogue with other regions and countries internationally.
Clearly, we have larger member states which have a more stratified ecosystem, also different responsibilities, smaller member states which tend to centralize for efficiency reasons. But I think it's the mission is the same. They're all part of our governing board. They're all part of our SOC network, and so there is a common level of understanding of the activity to be done. So I absolutely don't see a problem in the fact that I have to say, even smaller member states, maybe they are even in a better position because they can reach easily the community. Why member states which have a stratified level of responsibility tend to have more level of bureaucracy, if I can say it. So I think we are really building something new, something which make a difference.
Now, we examine the role of National Coordination Centers, or NCCs. These centers are set up in each EU member state, and they serve as hubs for strengthening cybersecurity on both national and European levels by facilitating research and response to cyber threats.
It's a new way of cooperating. This is something new for all of us. So there are different level of maturity of the different NCC, but I'm always impressed when I visit an NCC to see how they transform the mission, which is common for everybody, into some of the national flavor. So I really see how different NCC act on their local ecosystem in a different way. So I like, because in Europe we don't have one size fits all. We need to ensure that each member state transform the regulation and the missions into their own way. And I think we are on a progressing. It's a community that we need to build. It's the first level of our community.
They are already a very active organization, so they had a change in the management a couple of months ago, and actually they are partner at the conference, so it's already a strong sign of how interested and how active are they. At this moment, the team is there, the team is stabilized, it's very, very active, and I'm very happy that they are already a part of this interesting community of National Coordination Centers for Cybersecurity that are, let's say, a key facilitator, a key catalyst for the entire community, whether it's academic, businesses, research organizations, and individual experts that focus on cybersecurity innovation research. I think the regulation that created the group of National Coordination Center it's a very good one. It gives the right message, and we need this category of actors, of organizations, to be the transmission belt between European Cybersecurity Competence Center, the national cyber authorities, and the community. So they have a very important role, and I see, and I'm very happy with this, to see they are very, very, very active. Actually, I was in the morning at their round table.
We need to have local bodies, local organizations. So for this reason, the regulation which created also the CCC created the national center. This is very important because you have to build up the community at national level, at local level. And then you need to bring all this together. We are doing already this with different communities in EXO for more than 8 years, but we need to do it also in a more institutional way. This is the role of the Commission, of ENISA, of the CCC, and this will progressively come, and this will help the sharing best practices of ideas, of funding, will help the maturing of the system.
Many experts also highlighted education as one of the cornerstones in the fight against cyber threats.
Well, the panel was dealing with different topics, but I will start first about the need for resilience. Resilience, for what also I presented, is the need to have a system being exactly resilience, to work in a degraded situation because of attacks or because whatever can happen. And we're talking about threats also. We were saying what are the threats which are coming, and it's difficult to say, but for me one of the big threats is let's say the ignorance. So we need to work on skills, on competence for the professionals, but also on the cyber hygiene of the citizens, because the citizens have to know how to behave with the digital transformation, with the digital tool and so on, and not be attracted by different fraud.
It's very important for all society to understand what's happened in our life, what is the big transformation in our life with the technology, and it's necessary to build the culture of cybersecurity. Not only this culture, it's not only for the specialists, not only for engineers. It's necessary to build the culture for entire society, for our children, for kindergarten to my grandparents. It's necessary to understand what's happened if we don't have a culture, what's happened in the future. It's necessary to build, to realize, to prepare the young resources in this new paradigm of the societal paradigm. Is to say, to speak about these skills, explain in front of all level in society. The university, biggest university like our university, prepare very good specialists also in computer science. We have very good professor, school of computer science and automatization. We have dedicated master for cybersecurity, but in our opinion, it's not enough. This is the courses and the programs dedicated for the specialists. But repeat, we are engaged for explaining for the society the necessity of cybersecurity.
We have to educate everyone to make sure that the skills gap is currently problem number 2. It will become problem number 1, because we need a lot of people within the environment. So from universities, high schools, elementary schools, everyone needs to understand the impact of digitization, AI, social media, disinformation. It's really important to understand how it works and how to protect yourselves against the type of threats that comes about. Because it's not only about possibilities, which is great to have been able to socialize across the world, but it's also full with some difficulties as well. We also talked about HackShield, which is a non-profit mechanism for teaching 9 to 12-year-olds how to go about in cybersecurity. I think that's really important, because the future are our kids. We really have to make sure that they're educated in this time frame.
Evidently, emerging trends such as artificial intelligence were also addressed during the conference. The rapid evolution of technology presents both challenges and opportunities for the future, emerging as one of the primary concerns.
Well, I think that it can be both a friend or a foe, just like the panel was called. I do like a particular quote I got from a Moldovan friend who said, "It is a friend for our enemies," but I also believe that it can be a friend and foster innovation within the European Union if it is looked upon as a method of innovation. I see the importance of having the ability to automate a lot of different things, especially when there are particular labor shortages in different fields, but at the same time, to always think about leveraging AI for an ethical purpose as well.
But when we are looking of combining all the technologies which are coming up today, so artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and the evolution of all the digital transformation, how we bring all this together, that will be the challenge of the future. And also for this, the skills are very important, because we have to somehow be able to understand and to master all the challenge of the future. So this is where we have to go. And for this, what we are doing in EXO is very important, because EXO has been built as a public-private partnership. So we cannot solve the problem alone in one country, we cannot solve it alone in one region, we cannot solve it alone the private sector, but we have to work together, public and private, in order to find the different solution in an environment which is constantly evolving. And this is our challenge for now, but also for the future. So public-private partnership, for me, it's really the key, the silver bullet, to say, to work together and to face the challenge.
With these important discussions, the Bucharest Cybersecurity Conference 2024 closes on a message of collaboration and readiness. We look forward to BCC 2025, where we'll continue exploring challenges in cybersecurity across Europe. See you next year.